What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here. So good 1-0 win on the road to kick off the playoffs, and I mean, it's a good start for multiple reasons. First of all, it puts that horrible performance that we had on the last day against Toronto, it puts that behind us. Forget about it. We're moving on. But on top of that, it showed that we can be defensively solid. And once again, it comes down to, I think, the hard work rate of the defenders and the fact that we set ourselves up in such a good defensive formation. So we'll look at the formation first of all. They set it up on on the app, on the social media, on the TV. They set it up as a 4-3-3. Really, what it turned into was more of a 5-3-2. So it would look kind of like Garza and Escobar were the wingbacks. They were the ones providing the width, getting up and down the line. You had Parkhurst in the middle with Lorenowitz and Perez on either side of him. You had Eric Remedi and Darlington Nagbe in the center with Gressel right ahead of them, and then Miguel Almiron and Joseph Martinez kind of both going back and forth as the front two. And overall, I mean, it worked well. We really managed to control the midfield with kind of that triangle in there. Even though Julian is not exactly the best midfielder in my opinion, he still did well enough with his size and strength to hold up possession and get it out of his feet from time to time. Not saying he played great, we'll talk about that in a second, but it was good enough in the first half to get us through. We got a goal, should have had two. We'll talk about the refs in a second as well. But I mean, it was nice. It was really well set up. It set us up for success defensively in the second half. Kind of kept the same shape, except Miguel and Tito switched, and then eventually Ezekiel and Tito switched. But we kept everything the same, and I think that really helped for them to build that foundation of defense and keep that the whole game without making any switches. And ultimately, I mean, we really limited them to any good chances. I mean, they had maybe one or two that they possibly could have had a chance out of. If the referees, don't make a decision on a couple of them, there might have been a couple goals. But overall, I mean, we held up very well. It wasn't really relying on luck. We did do our job defensively, and that's always good to see. Of course, we did have to sacrifice a little bit of attack. I mean, we created a few good chances, and if we had taken our chances, it could have been quite a few more. But I think today the main thing was just really building that defensive barrier so we can take it back to our place where the field's not as crap. We actually are playing at our place with our fans behind us, and we're just going to take it to them, hopefully. But with that being said, I will talk about the refs really quick, because God, it was bad. It was really bad today. I mean, first of all, we'll talk about the VAR disallowed goal. How long is that supposed to be? Because here's the thing. Was he offside? Maybe. It was very tight, really difficult to tell. The fact that it wasn't clear and obvious to me says you shouldn't be looking at that, but they did, and they decided, oh, it's offsides. But here's the thing. How long are we going to do that now? Oh, well, you know what? That was actually a goal kick, not a corner, and they scored off of the corner, so we're going to give them a goal kick. Why can't you do that now? Because here's offside happened. Okay, you missed it. It goes on, goal scored. Oh, but that was offside way back there. So the build-up play started there. So VAR says no goal. Yeah, you can do that for a lot of things. There are 100 things that you can do. There could be a foul on the other side of the field. Not a penalty, just a regular foul. Foul leads up, build, pass it back, build, score. Oh, well, you know what? That foul was actually a foul down on their side. Even though it wasn't a penalty, it was still a foul that led to the build-up play, even though that build-up play took like a minute and a half. So that foul is going to be called back. No goal. Why not? If you're going to take it back, like 30 seconds, half a minute for an offside call that you missed, you could do that for anything now. There's got to be a limit on how far back you can go. So, yeah, in my opinion, terrible decision by the VAR. It's another example of the VAR just making up stuff as they go along. Oh, it was offside. It started at the beginning of the whole play, so yeah, offside. Anyways, so obviously upset about that. The other frustration I have is the fouls were once again inconsistent. Some things are a foul for them, some things are not a foul for us. Half of their players probably should have been booked at the end of the first half. Tinnerholm had 2 or 3 pretty bad challenges. Chanot had 2 or 3 pretty bad challenges. Herrera had 2 or 3 pretty bad challenges. All of them could have been booked. Tito comes in first minute of the second half, he slides to block, and his back foot kind of catches Tinnerholm, or Sweat, but not really. Or maybe, I don't remember who it was. And it's immediate yellow. And I'm just like, really? All of these fouls, all of these pretty bad fouls that are borderline yellow, and not just one, two or three, no yellow, no yellow, no yellow, no yellow. One slide in trying to block the clearance, and he barely catches him, and the guy goes down really dramatically. And your AR is standing right there over it. He could tell you it was dramatic. And just immediately, right to the pocket. I'm going to be angry about this. That's a yellow card. Why? The one thing that I will say, I'll talk about Martinez in a second, but that throw, I'll agree. That's a yellow card. When he threw the ball, that's dissent. You can't throw the ball like that. Yellow card. David Villa gets called offside. What does he do? Toss it, punch. No yellow. No yellow for David Villa. Why would I card David Villa? He's a European superstar. I would never card David Villa. The inconsistency is the frustration for me. If all those little fouls that are borderline yellow are not being given yellow cards, then that one that's not even really much of a foul shouldn't be a yellow. If Martinez gets a yellow for throwing the ball away, David Villa should get a yellow for punching the ball away. But there's nothing. There was even, I think, was it Callens or was it Tinnerholm? Somebody, he and Miguel were going, and Miguel gets called off sides. He boots the ball into the stands in the first half. That's not a yellow. What is and is not a yellow? Oh, well, if you're an Atlanta United player, most everything's a yellow. So it's dumb. It's really dumb that the referees cannot be more consistent. And it's something I've complained about all season. It's not getting any better. You've got to improve your referees. They've got to get better because it's really, really getting frustrating to have to watch our team go through this, get battered around the field. The other team gets 2 yellows and we get 3. That's stupid. It's not at all deserved. So anyways, done talking about the referees. Let's talk individuals. Guzan, great game today. Had some really good saves to make. And on top of that was just really, really strong coming out. Beating people in the air, catching some, punching some away. I mean, very, very brave as well on some of them. So perfect game from him today. Not much I can really think about that he did wrong. The back, I guess I'll call it the back 5. We'll start with Parkey in the middle. Once again, very solid. Even though you'd expect him maybe to get outrun by a couple of the players, he still managed to get back, track runs as well. So very, very smart player, and I've known that all season, and he showed it again today. I mean, just really, really smart about tracking those runs and make sure nobody gets in behind him. And Perez and Lorenowitz, both of them I thought played well too. Lorenowitz has been kind of in and out as far as his performances over the past few games. He had a pretty good game against, did he play against Chicago? I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he played against Chicago and played well. And then against Toronto, I thought he was awful. Today, though, played well. Did well in the back 3. I thought he did well to track runs. He did well to make certain challenges whenever it was in a dangerous area. So, yeah, really good game from him. Perez, another good game from him. He's been a player that started off the season pretty poor and slowly grew into one of our better defenders, and it's still showing it. He's very, very smart for the most part. There are still the moments when he can be a little hot-headed. When he gets that ring went in on him, which another probably should have been a yellow. He pretty much just studs to his shin. But, that happens, and the next, 30 seconds he's barking at the ref after he gets treatment. I'm just like, just let it go. You're not going to change his mind. Yelling at him is just going to piss him off even more, and he's going to make even more dumb decisions against us. So I just wish he would cool down a little bit. I wish there was somebody out there that could cool him down a little bit because we need him to keep his head in crucial moments. And then as far as the wingbacks are concerned, Greg and Franco both played well today. Greg, first game back, full game back in a while. And you could see it was wearing on his legs a little bit. He was breathing pretty heavy near the end of the game. But I thought he did well getting up and down the line. Honestly, having him out there was such a... It felt so much better than having Chris out there. Because Chris, like I said, I have nothing against him. But he's not a fullback or a wingback. He doesn't have the speed to do it. He's a pretty decent player if you put him in the right position, which I think being in the back 3 is better for him. But Greg really showed today that he can play that fullback/wingback position He got up in the attack, he helped out a lot, put in some good balls as well. So, in my opinion, he was probably our most underrated performer today, just because of how much he did, and I don't really think it got a lot of notice, but he really did work hard, and especially coming back for his first full game, that was even more impressive. And then Franco on the other side, kind of a player that's had hit and miss games, but today I thought he worked very hard. A couple times made some dumb decisions on the ball, tried to do something fancy instead of just keeping it simple. But defensively, he looked good today. He did well to track back, didn't get caught out of position too many times. So I appreciate the fact that we do have somebody out there that is working hard and getting in good positions as well. So yeah, both of them played really well, and it helped us whenever we did get it out wide to have two players that are both working hard and also have a bit of speed on them as well to really force the issue. As far as the midfield is concerned, Rometty and Nagbe, both of them I thought played very, very well today. Eric, a little bit unlucky, I think, to get the yellow. I think, it's another situation where it was like his first or second foul. It wasn't even really that bad. And all of a sudden it's a yellow card. I'm just like, okay, sure, you're starting this off really well, because it was in like the 6th minute too. But yeah, he didn't really deserve that, but then the rest of the game, does well to keep himself in a position where he's not really put into that situation. Of course, with Morales on the field, he's always going to go down easy looking for the foul, and the ref's always going to give it because it's Maxi Morales. Oh my gosh, I got to give him fouls every time. And so the fact that, he was up against that, to limit himself to the amount of fouls he gave up to keep himself off of the second yellow, I thought he did well. And on top of that, moving the ball around, he did well there too. For Nagbe, he's not really known for the defensive side of his game, but I thought he did work hard to cut off those passes and really put pressure on players when they're right in front of our defense. And that's not something he's really done most of the season, so I thought today the fact that he was willing to do that really, really helped us out. And it helped us keep them from having too many chances, in our box. But then on top of that, his play on the ball, it really helped link up the defense and the attack. It helped us get a chance to sort of breathe as well, because he's very, very good with his hold-up play. He rarely loses the ball, and we need a player like that, especially whenever we're constantly under pressure, constantly on the defensive. He picks up the ball, and it's like we have a minute or so to sort of get ourselves rested, get our defense a chance to catch their breath and organize again. So I'm glad we have a player like that, because he's really been helping us out there. Julian Gressel in the front of those three, like I said, his strength did help him sometimes, but I just don't think he's a midfielder. There were moments today when it really just hurt us because he can't sort his feet out. There are moments whenever a player barely body feints and he jumps and then right down the middle, and they're just gone into space because he just dove so badly, or dove in. Is that the word I'm looking for? Yeah. He bites very, very quickly, and it hurts us because now they're driving with speed through our midfield, and it's hard to stop a player when they're on that type of run. So that hurt us there, I think, mainly because he's not really that mobile. He's not a player that can cut quickly. That's why he's not great whenever it comes to defending in the middle. So maybe not the best place to put him. I would feel a lot better if we had either Miguel or, I don't know, maybe Kevin in there. He's not really that mobile either. I'm trying to think if we have like a mobile player. Maybe Brandon. Brandon or Miguel possibly could be there, but just somebody who's better at cutting and moving quickly, so that way they're better at closing down. Maybe even Ezekiel. He's pretty good at cutting quickly. He might be able to close them down better than Julian did today, just so they don't have that freedom to run through our midfield. And then the front two, Joseph and Miguel. Miguel, only got 45 minutes, but through those 45 minutes, very nice to have him back in. Just obviously he's probably our best player, and it shows. And that's why a lot of clubs are coming to look for him, because he is a very talented player with a lot of speed. He can move the ball quickly, he can get out of dangerous situations, and he can find a good pass when we need him to. So, I think having him back is crucial. I'm glad that they did limit his time. Give him 45 minutes to get his legs back, but don't push him the full 90. Make sure he rests, so that way we can have him next week too. And then Joseph, in my opinion, one of his best games today. Not necessarily from the goal scoring side of things, but he worked hard. And I was talking about this in the last game, which I don't think the review has gone up for that one yet, so yeah, I'm talking about this without even anybody having commented on it. But anyways, one of the things that I had a frustration with in the Toronto game is the fact that he did turn off so much. He wasn't giving us options. He wasn't making runs for us. He was just kind of, that kind of same old pouty Joseph, like, And today he did have a couple of those moments where you could see him get frustrated. I'm just like, don't show your frustration. But overall, he still worked hard to win the ball back. He still worked hard to put pressure on the defense and cause them to make mistakes. And a couple times it led to some good chances. So, in my opinion, he had a good, solid game today. He didn't score. He did kind of assist. It was a very nice strike that led to the goal. But that's not what I really wanted to see. I wanted to see what I got today, which was that hard pressure, the work back, putting pressure on players to to make them give up the ball and allow us to quickly get back at them. And if we can do that again next Sunday, I think we've got them in the bag because they can't handle that type of pressure. Now, of course, when we go to our field, it will be a bit more open, so it's going to be a bit harder to put pressure on them as quickly as we did today on their field, which is so narrow. But I still feel like if he puts that pressure on, it'll really cause a lot of problems for him, and it'll cause us to have more opportunities to get at them and counterattack, which we're probably going to have to utilize. Then we get to the subs, just Tito and Ezekiel. Tito came on for Miguel, and then Ezekiel came on for Tito. Tito, he worked hard at times, but then there are also other times where it felt like he was not really giving it his all. The main frustration I had is just he gave up the ball too many times. And in moments when we needed him to keep possession as well. We're trying to look for a little bit of a break for our defense, and he just gives it up too easily. Now they're back at us again. We just need you to, cause some trouble, make them poke it out for a throw-in, or you poke it out for a throw-in down in their end so that way we get a chance to rest. But just giving up the ball and just giving up on it as well is kind of frustrating, especially because his legs were fresh. I thought he should be working harder than anyone, but I didn't really see that. Ezekiel came on with only like 5 minutes to go and honestly put in more effort and more effective effort than I thought Tito did. So it's kind of something where I'm looking at this game, that second half performance, and I'm thinking maybe Ezekiel is the better option to put in over Tito because it looks like he provides a bit more, at least for sub. He provides a bit more as far as putting pressure on New York's defense and causing them to sort of make rush decisions. And we may need that next game. We may need somebody to come on that's just going to hurry their defense, cause them to make mistakes, so that way we can keep that possession and sort of slow the game down. Which, and this is the final point I'll make because I'm running out of time, I do feel like that is one problem we do need to focus on when it comes to the next game is when we slow down the play, when we slow down kind of the momentum of the game, not slowing down ourselves as well. Because that's what I saw near the end of the game is we were trying to slow down the momentum by playing slower, but it's like all of it was slower. Touch, and then we give the ball away and they're back at us. We keep playing like that, eventually it's going to lead to a good chance that might lead to a goal. I have no problem with slowing down the momentum by, ball rolls out, get over there, take your time, take your chances. No problem there, but whenever you are on the ball and the pressure is coming, don't take your time there. Get rid of it, keep the ball moving. But overall, it's a good result. It's a good setup for the next game next week, and I feel like we've got a good chance if we can just keep that momentum high and keep the energy high. I feel like we're going to make it through to the next round. So, all that being said, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. What are you expecting next week? What did you think of this game? Let me know. We can talk about and discuss all that good stuff. Leave a like and subscribe for future Atlanta United reviews. I'll see you guys the next game. Peace out.